Hi everyone, before we start this video, I would like for you to go to my GoFundMe project, which are at the in the description below. If you want to go help me with one of these projects, please click the links below, and it will take you to that particular project. So please help me. I need your help. Thank you. God bless. On this episode of the Infowars News, with hundreds of dead baby girls are found in Pakistani garbage piles. China censors Peppa the pig, and American 8th graders are not proficient in reading or math. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. For the week of May the 7th, 2018, this is Russ Ugly here. It's an article written by the Daily Call, which was linked by Infowars.com. The title is called Hundreds of Dead. You can probably read an article here by now. I mean, basically, just a bunch. Hundreds of dead girls, blah, 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 yada, yada. I mean, sorry, I know you don't read these things, but technically, for time's sake, I won't read it because it's you can see right here. An article written by Julian Robinson. Hundreds of newborn girls have been found dumped in piles in Pakistan over the last year. Amid cultural preference for boys, it has emerged. A total of 345 babies have been found dead in refuse heaps in Karachi, Pakistan's most populated city. Since the beginning of 2017, with 99% of them found to be girls, according to local reports. In one horrifying case, a 4-day-old was found dead with her throat slit. Another newborn was left on the steps of a mosque, only to be stoned to death when a cleric assumed it was an illegitimate baby. A clergy reported. According to the News International, activists from the Peppa Welfare Foundation said it's come across 93 such cases in Karachi, with 70 in 2017 and 23 this year. Child infanticide is a criminal offense in Pakistan, police say, and poverty and illegitimacy is the root cause of it. Yeah, right. However, Awar Kazmi from the Karachi's Aiden Center charity said that the majority of the cases are infanticide were the result of birth out of wedlock. And here's anecdotes about that.
And they have a little girl, and the family stands around and says, we don't want girls. And the other daughters and the mother, with the husbands, join in with rocks. Because they say that's biblical, and you put the baby in the corner, and you throw rocks at them till they die. You bash your daughter's brains out. That's in Reuters. That's the Daily Mail, you name it. Where are those little girls under Islam? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds found in each of the big trash dumps. Nobody's speaking for them. It's a blip. That's going on now and needs to stop. That's slavery. China's killing millions of girls a year. If they catch you with a little girl they didn't know about, they come and put them in a bucket of water. Then they sell their organs. In fact, now they grab little kids that people hide, take their organs, and then kill them. They keep you alive on life support, take the organs, put them on an airplane, fly them to Japan. Those are the real slavery. My God, can you imagine if there was some country where they were selling black people's organs?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, in your bra. I mean, technically, this culture favors boys over girls. And the funny thing about it is that technically, there's gonna be a day of reckoning for the House of Islam. I can tell you this right now. They're gonna wish they hadn't killed all these kids. All these girls. Because God may just make them fertile or something. I mean, seriously. This kind of stuff tends to really make me angry about this stuff. I mean, they really don't deserve kids. As a matter of fact, these guys are nothing but absolute animals. And that's what this is. Anyway, folks, this is the second article here. It's written by, well, RT. The title is called China Censors Peppa the Pig Cartoon as Antisocial Subculture Icon. Communist regime tightens screws on free expression. Images of Peppa Pig, a cartoon star of a TV show aimed at children, are reportedly being censored on a public Chinese video sharing website over fears that the animated porker is being increasingly used as a subversive icon. I mean, don't they always use something like that? Videos featuring the pink pig, funny, you're the pig, have mysteriously disappeared from the Chinese website Don Douyin, according to the Global Times, with suggestion that the cartoon has been blacklisted after becoming an icon for subversive subculture. First appearing in Britain screens and officially coming to China 3 years ago, Peppa Pig has reportedly been co-opted by a movie known as the Shiryu. I'm sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, which roughly translates as society person, but in online Chinese slang means a person who chooses to be an outcast, rejecting any mainstream values cultivated by the ruling party. The article goes on to say here that the bizarre subversion icon has been seen appearing as a trendy fashion items and in tattoos in China, according to the profession of, oh my goodness, it's I being you, an Australian RMIT University. Chinese citizens have a habit of using universal characters as icons of protest, and they should also be, and I think that's kind of cool. But this guy here, right here, I wonder if this person is related to Amy. Well, anyway, not to Amy. I won't bring it up, but basically, I mean, they're using anything to protest the Chinese government, even pigs. I mean, they're getting really creative, and it's starting to clamp down. And I gotta hand it to you. Yeah, I mean, these people want their freedom, and now they're really going. They're using anything to do this. I mean, what are you gonna do? They won't stop until they get their freedom. But anyway, enough about that. This is the final article. It's an article written by Terrence P. Jeffrey. The title is called 65% of public school 8th graders not proficient in reading and 65% not proficient in math. And this was written by CNS News, which was also linked to Infowars.com. And to clear stuff up too about that last article, it was also linked by Infowars.com as well, the RT one. Anyway, 65% of the 8th graders in American public schools in 2007 were not proficient in reading, and 67% were not proficient in mathematics, according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress test results released by the U.S. Department of Education. The results are far worse for students enrolled in some urban districts. And folks, I have 2 clips I'm going to play after this, so don't worry about it. Among a large urban districts, which the school Department of Education published a 2007 NAEP test scores, the Detroit Public Schools had the lowest percentage of students who scored proficient or better in math and the lowest percentage who scored proficient or better in reading. Only 5% of the Detroit public school 8th graders were proficient or better in math. Only 7% were proficient or better in reading. In Cleveland public schools, only 11% of 8th graders were proficient or better in math, and only 10% were proficient or better in reading. In Baltimore public schools, 11% were proficient or better in math, and only 13% were proficient or better in reading. Well, that's a kick in the pants right there. So, here's the first one. This is from Owen Schroeder in the War Room.
When the American public school system is failing the students by not even getting them out of the system with the ability to read proficiency, again, 65% of public school 8th graders not proficient in reading, well, now that explains everything. This explains how the college student is so illiterate. It explains how the college student is so gullible. It explains how the college student is so easily brainwashed. It explains how the average American can become easily susceptible to the propaganda in the media when they're not even proficient in reading when they graduate from grade school. It explains everything. So,
alright. Now here's the second one from Zeitgeist the movie. And I want you to pay attention to that.
What your government pays for, it gets. When we understand that, then we look at government-financed institutions of education and see the kind of students and the kind of education that's being turned out by these government-financed schools. Logic will tell you that if what is being turned out in those schools was not in accord with what the state and the federal government wanted, then it would change it. The bottom line is that the government is getting what they have ordered. They do not want your children to be educated. They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment to keep the human mind entertained so that you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it.
And there you go, folks. That's exactly what we're dealing with here. What your government pays for, it gets. They don't want the kids to be educated. They don't want you kids to think too much. Because you'll just get in the, I hate to say, the globalist way by doing too much thinking. Critical thinking is a primary factor with these crazy yahoos. And if people can think for themselves and teach their children to critically think, then their little agenda is gonna end very quickly. And it will stop them dead in their goddamn tracks. Right there. So, that's all the articles I have for you today. If you'd like to read more about these articles, please go link below or go to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. There you can find hundreds of articles just like this one I have read for you today. This is the Infowars News Blitz. I'm Info Gunner, live on Film Video number 3. Please like, subscribe, and donate. And please donate to my GoFundMe project. Thank you. God bless.